Let's run through some of the other many earnings reports that we got out this morning. Jared Blickery a few minutes ago was just talking about Crocs and its blowout quarter. Apparently, huge demand for these things. Brian Sozzi, talk us through some of the numbers here on how Crocs did.
Yeah, it amazes me, Julie, in an inflationary environment, which we are in fact in, that Crocs could essentially sell $29 shoes and be profitable in a very big way. I mean, operating margins up significantly, gross margins up 730 basis points, which was interesting. They not only saw 93% sales growth in their direct-to-consumer business, so those are retail stores, that's online, but also their wholesale business, which in many respects are department stores. Sales there are up 50%. I think we're learning here that consumers are going back out and they want a couple things. They want some new jeans. We've heard that from Levi's a couple weeks ago when we talked to them. They need new jeans for whatever reason if they don't fit in their prior jeans after being inside eating a lot of frozen food from Conagra the past year. So they need new jeans, and they also appear to be speaking or just want to show off their style or their renewed sense of style with Crocs shoes. Very interesting. And if you go to the Crocs website, listen, I mean, it's a different company. They're not just selling those boring clogs.
I just think it's an amazing stock story. I mean, it was a $7 stock in middle of 2017, went to 45 or something right before the pandemic, crashed like everything else did. Now it's almost $100 a share. I mean, the turnaround plan the turnaround trajectory that we've seen at Crocs has just been amazing. And yes, as they've changed the mix, I mean, they've done some interesting collaborations with celebrities. I remember talking, this must have been a couple of years ago now, it feels like it was in the studio. Post Malone did a collab with Crocs, and you can get the little things that go in the holes, little decorations, you saw them there. So, I mean, that all kind of mixes it up, but ultimately it's a company that's, growing its top line at 50%, whether it's part of the reopening trade or not. I mean, Crocs is certainly, charting a path that has been durably successful here for it over the last couple of years on, an example of how you can go from this weird fad. I mean, when I was in high school, this was like the first time they came out. It was like, what are these things? And here we are, many years later, and it's a $6 billion company.
I mean, the interesting thing to your point, Sozzi, about them being able to make money on this is that oil prices have been going up, and that's what these things are made of, right? They're made from petroleum. So I don't know exactly how that works. I haven't looked deeply enough into the report.
It's fascinating, Julie. Those things that that Myles was talking about, that go in your shoes. They're priced for $5. They're called gibbets. I mean, what do they cost? Maybe a couple pennies to make. So there's some big profit margins in their business. And interestingly, they continue to expand off a high base from last year.